All right, I have a great class. I'm so excited about this content. This could probably be the most important content that I ever teach. And I can't even put that lightly because what I'm going to share with you today will radically change your life if you choose to lean into it. We're going to learn how to heal the mind, and that will also allow you to heal anything else in your life. You can even heal others. And I'm going to share with you exactly how to do it. Are you ready? Well, today we're going to talk about how to unlock your inner power and potential of your mind. All right. And we don't do that through effort or willpower, but through listening to understanding and nurturing the mind, which means you'll have more clarity and less energy wasted when we can step out of the place of survival and overwhelm. Yeah. It's easier said than done, though. And that is why we start with the breath. And so I'm going to invite you to do that with me right now, just to bring yourself into the present moment for today's class. So I invite you to just close your eyes right now, if it's available to you, and just begin to notice your breath. Notice if it's fast or slow. Is it shallow or deep? Now, are you breathing into the belly or the chest? See if you can lengthen your breath, and if you can pair the inhale with a gentle rise of the belly. Now bring your attention to your heart space and breathe into your heart as if you could fill your heart with air, filling it with a bright light as you inhale. And as you exhale, repeat the following affirmations in your mind, feeling their meaning anchor deep within your heart on each exhale. So inhale and breathe bright light into your heart. And on the exhale, I love myself. Again, on the inhale, bringing in light. And on the exhale, I trust myself. And breathe in again. And then on the exhale, I value myself. And finally, one last breath in and exhale. I honor myself. And one more deep breath in and open your eyes. Well, now that you are a little more centered, ready to perhaps listen to the inner guidance, I have a question for you. Why are you interested in learning about breath work and meditation? Why are you here in the first place? And I would love for you to put your answer in the chat. What are you looking for to get out of a class like this? And what I often hear when I ask this question is some form of, I want inner peace or increased capacity for stress. I want to heal something, or I want to create more abundance. Okay. Now, maybe you are here for one of these reasons or some variation of one of these reasons. All right. Now, put it in the chat and we're going to talk about some of this stuff and really find out how we can get what we're looking for. So the part two of this question, though, is what is getting in your way? What is making it feel hard to achieve whatever it is that you're looking for? What are the obstacles? Well, put your answers in the chat and think about it right now. But this is the biggest obstacle that I hear most often. I don't have enough time. Also, too many demands from other people. I don't have any motivation. I can't focus. I have trouble following through, or I struggle with negative thoughts, trauma, anxiety, or any other kind of mental illness. So put your answer in the chat. You can be honest with yourself and only share what you feel comfortable with, of course. But I want you to know that no matter what it is that's getting in your way, your experience is valid. And I want you to think about giving yourself permission today to be exactly where you are. It's okay to experience what you're experiencing. And I am going to show you how we can start to eliminate all of these obstacles that are in your way one by one. But there are only two goals to this work. Okay. This is all you really need to remember at the end of the day. Our goal is acceptance, which is equivalent to forgiveness. Okay. They're the same thing, guys. And acceptance feels like peace. Okay. Acceptance isn't something we say, it is a feeling. And the other thing that we have to focus on is just the willingness to see things differently. So I am going to try to make this easy for you and teach you how to go from overwhelmed to empowered through a process. But the one thing that I have to point out to you first, before we go any further, is that trauma is real and it is embedded in the body. And if we don't process trauma properly and move it through the body properly, then it gets stuck in our body somewhere. And this is where most of our beliefs come from, actually, because our beliefs are defense mechanisms that are put in place to keep us from being inflicted onto more traumas or having more traumas inflicted onto us. All right. So trauma is also one of the reasons why it can be so difficult to calm the body and calm the mind. So the first step in our process, guys, is to calm the body. And we do this through breath work. And the second step is to calm the mind, which we continue this process from breath work by using meditation to continue to calm and focus the mind. And from this state, we can move on to the third step, which is to heal the mind. And once that we can learn how to heal the mind, then it's easy to choose a better experience for ourselves. The truth about our experiences, our thoughts and feelings seem to arise automatically. And I want you to know that that's going to continue to happen for a long time because the programmed thoughts and emotions are the things that come automatically. So we have to learn to reprogram those thoughts. But how we respond to the challenging thoughts in the moment is the experience that we're choosing. You have to realize this. All right. This is our power. It has really nothing to do with being healed or being at any certain level, but it's how that you choose to respond in the moment, not what had happened, right? So we judge ourselves way too much on the fact that we're still struggling, but you don't have to. Judgment is not required. Okay, now for the rest of this class, we're going to focus on this step right here, how to heal the mind. This is the most important part, and we're going to talk about it. But I want you to know that healing happens in layers. We have to be patient with this process. And like I said, the first step is just to simply learn how to feel safe in the body. That way we can learn to trust ourselves. And when things feel easy, we can practice getting into a state of calm and finding acceptance for what is. That way, when things feel hard, well, we're much more likely to be able to get into a state of calm and find acceptance for what is. I want you to think about starting as small as you need to, and growing very slowly. All right. So start with just 5 minutes of the practices that I'm sharing with you. And after just a minor realization, you will have a breakthrough that will make room and capacity and clarity so that you can incorporate 6 minutes of practice. And we slowly build up our practice time and we slowly build up our awareness and our resilience at the same time. But if you are still struggling, then this is what I want you to remember are the affirmations that I gave you just in our little opening centering we did. I love myself. I trust myself. I value myself and I honor myself. This will help you to meet yourself where you are. But I want you to finally remember that the mind is like an onion. Okay, so the innermost layers are the stinkiest. And the deeper you go, the harder this work feels. An increase in challenges in your life means that you're making progress because you're becoming more self-aware and you're getting better at pinpointing limiting beliefs, which is what this work is all about. Now, it's good to know ahead of time that it's not easy when we get a complete picture of how our beliefs have been harming us and others. But the good news is that there is so much freedom right on the other side of forgiveness. So let's talk about how to heal the mind. The goal of healing the mind is not finding the right tools or learning how to overcome all of the obstacles that we've listed already. All right, it's not even to generate feelings of love or joy or gratitude. We're not trying to force ourselves into feeling good thoughts, okay? Let me just explain what I mean here. All right, the only goals, remember from the beginning, are acceptance and the willingness to see things differently. Okay, you can choose to hold on to your old beliefs and your old ways of doing things, or you can choose a better experience. But until we learn how to do this, then our mind and intentions are scattered and clouded with judgment and fear and loneliness. And we start creating and attracting more of that into our lives. Now, when your mind becomes free, you can easily access inner stillness, and your natural state of love and gratitude and joy will emerge because you are love. You always have been, and you always will be. And the emotions of love resonate at a frequency that heals the body. And like I said, it can heal others. Now, I want to share with you a process to heal the mind that you can use to meet yourself when you feel triggered, when you feel unbalanced or overwhelmed. Sometimes we aren't even aware of how we're feeling because of distraction, overthinking, or just not being in touch with our body. And breath work and meditation are what helps us build this self-awareness. All right. Breath work specifically builds interoception. Interoception is the ability to sense and interpret the internal bodily signals that you feel, like your heartbeat, your temperature, and most importantly, the physiological signs from emotions. All right. And meditation is important for building self-awareness because it gives us a chance to witness and become aware of our thoughts and feelings without responding to them, which is what we normally do right away, right? Now, interoception plus self-awareness is magical. And here's why. It helps you build emotional regulation by helping you recognize and respond to emotions before reacting. It also builds resilience to stress because you tune into those early signs and you can shift yourself to a state of balance quickly. It also builds presence because you learn to anchor your awareness in the body and not swirling around in the mind. But once you are able to become aware of how you feel, then we have to allow yourself to feel everything. And we do this through movement, meditation, and journaling. And I know that this step can sound a little crazy, scary, all right? Most of the time, we want to simply run from how we feel, right? But the resistance that we feel towards ourselves causes more pain every time. So we have to sit with the feelings as long as it takes to witness them and also witness our thoughts about those feelings. So you can cry, you can scream, you can shake, you can punch a pillow. Just find a safe space to do this in and realize that you are doing healing work. It's kind of like how a wild animal will suddenly shake after having a traumatic event, and then it will just kind of go on as if nothing happened. Because that shaking action actually moves the trauma out of their body so they don't have to have that stuck in them. Another thing you can do is try to close your eyes in meditation and revisit the catalyst in your mind, seeing it from all perspectives, slowing down the scenes. And then ask yourself what the emotion is that you're feeling, right? Ask if it's a form of frustration, fear, or sadness, and then journal about it. Now, this last part about journaling is very important because once you start to get out your thoughts and your beliefs in front of you, you can witness them so much more clearly. And if you are like me and you do not like to write, okay, my hands get so tired, I use voice to text. All right. All you have to do is be willing to see things differently, and you will always find a solution. But we're going to move on to the third step. And another step that cannot be skipped, and that is to meet all of those thoughts and feelings with love. And we do this through radical self-acceptance and forgiveness. So allow yourself to become still after you've gotten out all of the emotions and after you've journaled about the difficult stuff. Then contemplate the source of the emotion. And remember, the source is a belief that you hold. Now, all you have to do is accept this and find peace with yourself for holding the belief in the first place. Now, I know that this is where I start to lose people because the alarm bells start going off in your mind. And the question always comes up. All right. How am I supposed to feel peace when something is causing me pain? How do I accept and forgive someone who is actively trying to hurt me? How can I possibly accept the way that I feel? Well, first of all, we have to give up resistance to life. And this is where all of our freedom lies, you guys. Not by giving up our free will or making sacrifices. Forgiveness is not a sacrifice. Okay, the only thing that we're really sacrificing are the limiting beliefs that we have been clinging onto so tightly as an illusion of control and safety. And it's not giving up free will either, because ultimately you get to choose your own experience, right? What we're doing here, guys, is pulling back the layers of the mind that are simply clouding your perception of yourself and others. And we do that through meditation and journaling. All right. And we can journal on the right things. There are three things specifically that I want you to think about that will cause the feelings of forgiveness and joy to naturally emerge. All right. And those things are the qualities of trust, humility, and unconditional love. We have to learn how to develop these qualities over the course of our life. And by doing the work that I'm sharing with you today, you will develop these qualities. So be okay with yourself if you're not here yet. This is where radical self-forgiveness and acceptance is always going to come into play. Accept yourself where you are and know that you can develop all of these things and heal. So let's talk about each of them very quickly. Trust is giving up the need to have it figured out or to have certainty about things. Okay, what trust is being able to set aside some time to work on the budget or to research healing options for yourself, but having peace while you do it. All right. Being able to stick it up on a shelf while you're not worrying about it and not thinking about it, and then get it down off the shelf and focus on your budget for an hour or focus on your health options for an hour, but then put it back on a shelf. Okay. Trust is also being honest about how you feel because you can trust the reactions of others to not hurt you if you know your own value. And you can also trust yourself not to react too harshly to yourself. Okay. We realize that we lose trust with ourselves when we beat ourselves up over and over again. Trust is also going with the flow of life. Okay, what trust is not is stressing about the budget constantly, Googling your symptoms nonstop. Okay, because here's the deal. If you stop worrying about your budget today, it's not going to fall apart in the future. This is what we have to remember, that you're worrying about things today does not control the outcome. All it does is take away your peace and causes harm to your physical body. Okay. Also, trust isn't worrying about how others are going to hurt you or worrying about how you might mess up. Okay. Any kind of worry is a lack of trust. Okay. And also having a strict routine and really clinging to that routine to be okay. Okay. So, how do we build trust? Well, keep looking back just to see how far you come and how much life has met you with everything that you need. Okay. So, you can trust that I know no matter what happens, I'm going to be okay financially because things always seem to work out, you know? People, communities always come through when there is a crisis. Trust the future. Also, forgive fast. And that's just by repairing the connection with yourself and others as quickly as possible. Again, so that you don't have a fear of coming back again and being hurt again. Right? We know that we can trust whenever we've been able to repair by just saying, "Hey, I'm sorry." Even if you look at yourself in the mirror and say, "Hey, I'm sorry. I said that to you." And then surrender in your control in small ways. Just see if you can let go part of your schedule, let go of your routine, and see how it all turns out. I've had to do this a lot to find peace, trust me. Let's talk about humility now. Humility is giving up the need to be right or perfect. Okay. What it is admitting that you've made a mistake, being okay that you made a mistake or you don't know the answer. And that all comes from knowing your value. Yeah. You're okay no matter how many mistakes you make, and you know that if you know your value. Also, not needing to prove anything to anyone, being able to apologize with ease. That's the tough one. Okay. Because we have to admit that we've made a mistake. Humility is not defending yourself, it's not needing to be right, proving a point, or putting value on your looks or accomplishments. Humility is not trying to impress someone and it's not thinking less of yourself because, again, it's all about knowing your value. You cannot have humility unless you believe in who you are because then you're looking for everybody else to give you value based on their responses. And that is dangerous. All right, so how do we build humility? Well, listen to understand people, not to respond or defend. Truly come to a conversation and a relationship, even come to yourself with curiosity rather than judgment. Also, practice compassionate awareness. Soften your heart towards yourself over and over and over again. Service to others really helps to build humility as well because we realize we need each other. We need to humble ourselves and give more than we take. Vulnerability is also a superpower, in my opinion. Because the moment that you can share something that you've done wrong and show that you feel okay about it, you give other people permission to do the same thing. And it helps you realize that you really are okay when you find out that nothing happened when you shared honestly. The last quality that we must focus on is unconditional love. And guys, if you have had objections coming up in your mind about all of this stuff, unconditional love will, it just puts a pin on it. You cannot argue with unconditional love and the healing qualities that come along with it. Now, unconditional love is giving up resistance to life, giving up all judgment, because really that's what resistance is. It is a judgment that we're holding against something in our lives that is not okay for us, and that is a judgment. All right, just saying. All right, so what is unconditional love? It's meeting yourself where you are and releasing all expectations that you have for yourself. Okay, it's also meeting other people where they are and expecting nothing in return. Okay, it's probably one of the hardest ones right there. I can tell you how we get past it too. It's also accepting others' beliefs and their actions, even if they're crazy actions that don't make sense, accepting them as just as valid as yours. Soft heart in all situations. Again, we have to keep coming back to softening towards ourselves, softening towards others. Unconditional love is not beating yourself up for anything ever. Getting frustrated when other people don't meet your expectations, which this is the biggest source of suffering for most people. Okay, because it's other people's fault in our minds that we're suffering. We can also sometimes see other people as wrong or evil. And there's a much better way of seeing this one, guys. Trust me. Needing others to change will always create suffering for yourself and any form of frustration. All right. Now, how to build unconditional love, guys? It's practicing what we're talking about, total self-acceptance. Okay. Remember, anytime you have an unhealthy thought, an unacceptable behavior in your mind, because remember, it's just a judgment that you have made on yourself. Just remember, you belong here too. Everything, every part of us, the lightness and the dark, belongs here. There's learning in it. It's here for a reason to show us ourselves on where we can love more. That's the lesson that we are here to learn. Sorry, I get a little bit emotional and really passionate about this stuff, right? This is an important one right here, guys. Building unconditional love by seeing all acts of hate as a cry for love. Because the fact is, we don't hurt anyone on purpose. It's never anyone's intention, but instead we act out in a certain way as a defense mechanism because we've been hurt, because we're lonely, because we feel separate. So, if we could just see that in someone, it makes it easy to forgive and accept them where they are when we can see the pain that is underneath of their actions. And, if you like to think in terms of energy, softening your energy field, but by using breath work and meditation. Okay, this is an iterative process that will always lead to more unconditional love in the end. Okay, now look, check this out, guys. I have a summary sheet of everything I just shared with you, and I have contemplation questions which you can journal on. So reach out to me. I have my information on the screen, and I will send you this sheet so that you don't have to remember all of this. You can keep referring back to it every time you feel overwhelmed or triggered or in any way. Okay. But we're going to work on a little practice together right now. And so, as we get ready to do this together, just remember that the work we're doing is the best thing that you can do for yourself. Right? I still tend to see myself have a little temper tantrum when I get triggered by something and I know I need to sit down and do this work. I'm like, darn it, I was supposed to be in a meeting. I was supposed to, I have to pack lunches. I got to cook dinner. I got to do my yoga practice. And then I have to sit down and do journaling and meditate on this stuff, And I get really upset for a second. And then I realize that nothing else is as important as this. Nothing. But if you are still having a hard time finding the time for yourself to practice for 5 minutes a day, then all I want you to do is remember the affirmations that I shared with you in the beginning and actually breathe them into your heart like we did. Feel the words making their way into your heart. And when you learn to value yourself and honor yourself enough, then 5 minutes of practice, 10 minutes, or even 30 minutes someday, believe it, could be what you want to do most because of the incredible healing and freedom that is right on the other side of this. Trust me. Now, we're going to do some box breathing together today and then move into a meditation to contemplate some of these concepts that I just shared. It's going to help you start to integrate this work. Now, as we do the box breathing, just remember that the deeper you're able to inhale, the easier the little breath holds are going to be. But if you feel uncomfortable when we're holding our breath at all, it's only going to be for 4 counts, but just realize that you can breathe at your natural pace. If you feel like you need to inhale, inhale. Okay. You don't have to wait for me. Feel comfortable in your body. Okay, so this is about generating a feeling of safety within ourselves. And if you're feeling stressed out because you can't do the breath holds, then don't do them. Got it? All right. So give yourself permission to be right here in this moment with me right now. Settle into your seat, getting out any wiggles that you need to find stillness. Closing down the eyes and turning inward, begin to tune into your breath. Filling the belly on the inhale and relaxing deeper on the exhale. Continue to deepen and slow your breath. We're going to practice some gentle box breathing to get out of the head and into the body using the tempo of the music. We'll inhale for 4 counts, pause for 4, exhale for 4, and pause again at the bottom for 4 counts. If the pace doesn't feel right for you or the pause at the top or bottom cause discomfort, just breathe naturally, continuing to focus on the rise and fall of the belly. Now, take one more deep breath in and let it all out, getting ready to breathe in for 4 counts. In 3, 2, in 2, 3, 4, and hold 2, only to your comfort, then out 2, 3, 4, and hold 2, 3, 4. Every inhale, imagine filling yourself with light and hold 2, 3, 4. On the exhale, let something go and pause in the stillness. 3, 4. Breathing in the healing energy and holding it in. Let it heal you. And then exhale, dropping in a little deeper, pausing at the bottom. Now inhale, moving your attention up to the head, holding the attention right at the top. And exhale, Moving the attention down the spine to the stomach. Pause. Resting here. On the inhale, pull in more breath. Hold. On the exhale, down the spine, relax a little more and rest. Now one more time. It's in, 2, 3, 4. Holding that energy up in your head. And then exhale, 2, 3, 4. Resting your attention at the bottom. Now, inhale all the way up to the top of your head. Pause at the top. Just feeling the body. For 3, 2, and let it all go. 2 more rounds. In, 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, and hold. Now one last box breath. It's in, bringing in the life force energy. Hold, feeling everything. And exhale anything else that is holding you back. Hold. Now last time, breathe it in all the way up, pulling the attention and the energy up to your head. For one last pause. You have everything you need for this moment. And let it all go. Exhale. Allow your breath to come to its natural pace now. Noticing the stillness you've created. Noticing the sense of calm within the body. Resting in this present moment, fully aware. I'm going to ask you to contemplate the concept of trust. Asking yourself the question, where have I not been trusting myself? Where have I not trusted life? Not trusting shows up as anxiety and fear. See if you can find a feeling of trust in your body in this moment. Trust in the seat beneath you. In the stillness and in this place of peace, remind yourself, I have everything I need for this moment. Now, let us contemplate the idea of humility. Ask yourself, is there anyone that I'm trying to impress or prove my worth to? What beliefs about myself or others may be distorted? A lack of humility can show up as shame, as sadness, pride, or defense. It's See if you can replace any feelings of judgment with compassionate curiosity. And remind yourself silently, my value does not depend on accomplishments. I am allowed to be wrong, and it does not affect my worth. And finally, bring your mind to the idea of unconditional love. Breathing into your heart space, feeling yourself expand there, making room for more love to come in now. Ask yourself, what expectations have I been holding myself to? Could you release the expectations for just a moment and imagine what it feels like when they simply disappear? See if you notice a sense of relief or lightness. Notice where you feel it in your body. Now ask yourself, what expectations am I holding for others? Is there anything I need from them for me to feel okay? A lack of unconditional love shows up as judgment, resistance, and frustration. So you could ask, where do I feel frustrated in life? See if you can find a sense of peace and acceptance in this moment. Sending yourself the love and appreciation that you desire from others. Finally, breathing a bright light into your heart and exhaling. I love myself. I trust myself. I value myself. I honor myself. Thank you for taking this time with me today. When you're ready, open your eyes.